Brace yourself, because the next 10 plus minutes will take you inside a royal escape that turned into Hollywood's most explosive standoff. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the billionaire filmmaker Tyler Perry, who once sheltered them, and a $260 million lawsuit that could transform a godfather's blessing into the ultimate tell-all detonation. We'll unravel how a single confidentiality clause may flip the Sussex narrative on its head, and why every deleted Instagram photo is now ammunition in a battle for reputations, fortunes, and the future of an entire brand. So stay tuned, because by the end of this story you'll know exactly who holds the receipts, who's scrambling to hide them, and how one furious mogul might pull the trigger on a truth bomb that out-Oprah's Oprah. It all began in January 2020, when Harry and Meghan shocked Buckingham Palace, Britain, and the entire Commonwealth by announcing they were stepping back from royal duties. Overnight, they became global nomads stripped of official security and stalked by paparazzi, with tabloids salivating over every move. Their royal relatives offered polite sympathy, but few concrete solutions, leaving the Sussexes in a panic until Tyler Perry, Hollywood's self-made billionaire, studio owner, and powerhouse producer, stepped forward like a modern fairy godfather. He dispatched his private jet to whisk them from Vancouver Island, opened the wrought iron gates of his Beverly Hills estate, provided round-the-clock bodyguards, and told them to regroup under his roof as long as they needed. In that sun-drenched mansion, Harry and Meghan rediscovered a sense of safety. Archie played by the pool. Netflix executives visited for hush-hush brainstorming sessions, and Harry phoned therapists while Meghan plotted a rebrand rooted in empowerment, wellness, and chosen family. Gratitude flowed freely. Harry called Perry a lifesaver. Meghan chose him as baby Lilibet's godfather, a gesture just shy of naming him an honorary duke, and the trio filmed glossy moments for the Netflix docuseries that would bankroll their new life. For a while, everything sparkled. Perry basked in royal glow. The Sussexes basked in billionaire protection, and fans dubbed him Uncle Tyler. Then, in May 2025, actor Derek Dixon filed a civil suit accusing Perry Studios of fostering a toxic environment that crushed careers and silenced dissent, tagging Perry personally for $260 million in damages. Overnight, the media recoded Perry from savior to alleged tyrant, and Meghan's brand protection reflex kicked in. Her social team purged Instagram reels showing Perry cuddling Lilibet, wiped captions naming him godfather, and quietly replaced present tense references with past tense footnotes. "Where's Tyler?" trended on X as royal watchers posted screenshots of vanished content. The silence from Montecito felt deafening. What Meghan's crisis crew apparently overlooked is that every house guest at Perry's compound signs a thick confidentiality agreement, and buried on page 11 is a razor-sharp clause. If either party publicly disowns or undermines the other, the non-breaching side may disclose private interactions in order to protect their own reputation. Translation: Ghost Perry, and Perry is legally cleared to spill receipts, emails, voice memos, tear-soaked late-night calls on national television. Sources inside Perry Studios say he kept meticulous archives, security footage of midnight brainstorming, audio from speakerphone strategy sessions, drafts of the infamous Oprah interview outline, and dozens of texts in which Meghan road-tested catchphrases for her now-paused podcast reboot. Insiders claim Perry was hurt more than angry at first, stunned that a family who once called him guardian angel now treated him like radioactive waste. But hurt evolved into fury when he realized brand partners and fashion houses were pausing campaigns with Meghan, citing reputational uncertainty, while tabloids painted him as Hollywood's new villain. That's when Perry's lawyers dusted off the NDA, highlighted the disownement clause, and greenlit negotiations with major networks ready to pay seven-figure sums for an exclusive. One executive allegedly booked studio space on hold and boasted, "If Tyler talks, this will draw Super Bowl numbers." Meghan's camp scrambled. Attorneys explored cease and desist options. PR advisors urged a flood of pastel lifestyle posts, sunlit kitchen shots, herbal tea recipes, yoga tips to drown out the noise, and brand consultants begged her to issue at least a supportive tweet. She refused, fearing any association could tie her to the lawsuit's ugliness. Meanwhile, Harry wrestled with loyalty. He remembers Perry shielding them when his own father, then Prince Charles, wouldn't answer calls. Friends say Harry alternated between rage at the tabloids and despair at having to choose between his wife's strategy and the benefactor who saved their skins. Back in Atlanta, Perry watched the Sussex feed scrub his existence in real time. Insiders say that was the tipping point. He began assembling a context archive, date-stamped voice notes of Meghan venting about palace aides, spreadsheets of donor pitches for the Archwell Foundation, and an email chain where Harry confided fears that paparazzi would chase them like they chased my mother. Producers smell blockbuster. Imagine Perry reading those messages aloud, framing himself not as scorn host but guardian seeking justice. Legal analysts note the NDA's self-defense clause is ironclad. As long as Perry restricts disclosures to protect his reputation, he's bulletproof. Montecito lawyers can protest breach of privacy, but they need to prove harm, hard to do when they trigger the clause by erasing him. The ripple effect is brutal. One luxury jeweler postponed a Duchess-branded collection, citing uncertain narrative environment. Spotify has reportedly cooled on Resurrecting Archetype Season 2, and internal brand sentiment trackers show a dip among millennials who once viewed Meghan as a sisterly icon of loyalty. Comment sections erupt whenever she posts a floral flat lay. Cute roses, but where's Tyler? Meanwhile, palace aides in London sip tea and watch the saga. Courtiers who griped that Harry was rushing into Hollywood are now vindicated in marble hallways, and King Charles lets silence imply judgment. Across the pond, Perry's phone lights up hourly. The Today Show, 60 Minutes, Hulu documentaries, even podcast titans wave multi-million-dollar offers. One streaming service dangled a docuseries titled The Godfather's Receipts, pitching reenactments with A-list actors. Perry hasn't committed, yet. Those close to him say he's weighing two motives: clearing his name in the Dixon lawsuit and sending a message to anyone who weaponizes friendship. Money matters less than impact. He built an empire on loyalty, and being memory-holed by the people he sheltered strikes at the core of his identity. If he goes live, he intends to show not revenge, but truth. WhatsApp threads of Meghan mapping press strategy, voice memos of Harry rehearsing lines about palace racism, even security logs confirming how often paparazzi were secretly invited for organic shots. Meghan strategists warn that such revelations could shatter her wellness empire before it properly launches. Investors dread association with manipulation narratives, and sponsors can't align with a figure seen to ditch allies under pressure. They push Meghan to show warmth, perhaps a public thank you video, maybe refollow Perry on Instagram, but she digs in, convinced any acknowledgement will tether her brand to his lawsuit. As legal chess intensifies, tech-savvy royal fans compile timelines proving Meghan praised Perry publicly until the lawsuit, then scrubbed him within 48 hours. Tabloids amplify the timelines, framing her as calculating. The crisis team's attempt to retract an old press release naming Perry Godfather backfires when the document gets cached and reposted worldwide, sealing evidence of the relationship she now denies. For Harry, the spiral is personal. He stands between a wife he loves and a man who literally housed his infant children. Friends say he paces the Montecito garden at night, muttering that Uncle T has every right to feel betrayed, yet he's terrified a public clash will nuke their Netflix partnership and crush the goodwill they still enjoy among progressive audiences. Meanwhile, Perry's camp prepares a if prompted file, an index trove of audio clips, emails, and behind-the-scenes footage to hand over to whichever interviewer signs the deal. One insider nicknamed it Megxit, the director's cut. Networks salivate at the prospect of Perry narrating moments when Meghan allegedly practiced tearful lines before Zoom calls, or when Harry rehearsed family-first soundbites moments after coordinating paparazzi shots. The palace, smelling vindication, quietly signals commentators to emphasize the Sussex pattern. Jessica Mulroney, Serena Williams, Oprah, each once central, each now sidelined when headlines turned inconvenient. If Perry speaks, analysts say, the Meghan brand could undergo permanent repositioning from inspirational survivor to strategic opportunist, and investors betting on her upcoming wellness line might bail. The broader lesson for Hollywood power brokers is chilling. NDAs slice both ways, and influencers who treat friendships as expendable PR props may discover their discarded allies possess legal avenues for retaliation. As July 2025 unfolds, every scrubbed photo and every silent feed fuels speculation that Perry is inching toward that microphone. When not if he speaks, the fallout could reshape public perceptions of royalty, celebrity, and the illusion of curated authenticity. Until then, cameras stay poised, networks hold their studio slots, and a single man, once the Sussex's guardian angel, now controls the detonator that could blast their carefully built narrative to pieces and redefine loyalty in the age of streaming fame.